We got, is it Justin?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Justin?
Doing all right. I'd like to tell you I like that little joke you cracked about Jesus playing pool, and that'd be an unfair game because Jesus would probably knock them all in.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, if we're talking about the magical, mystical Jesus, then yeah, I'd get my butt kicked.
well, my question for you is why, in general, you don't believe in some sort of intelligent life to help create where we are today.
Simple.
I just think
we
from
don't
my
have any
point of view,
evidence for it.
It's a little bit ignorant from my perspective to think that there was just a huge explosion in space and now we're here.
You're right.
Involved here. So I think not necessarily, I don't really agree with the way Jesus is portrayed and the way that people try to force you to believe in him or you're going to burn in hell. But I do think that there has to be something out there to help the process along. I just want to know if you believe there was, do you just believe that we came from an explosion and then we turned from goop to fish and then, came out on the shore and then we turned into monkeys?
Do you think it's likely?
Yes. Yes.
So you honestly believe we came from nothing?
No, and nowhere in your original phrasing did coming from nothing enter that. Well, you said it before that you thought it was ignorant to think that there was just explosion and then here we are. I agree, that is ignorant. Also saying that we came from nothing is incorrect. We can trace, we know evolution happened. The evidence for common ancestry is almost beyond any possible refutation. Even Francis Collins, who is an evangelical Christian and head of the Human Genome Project, said that in the absence of fossil evidence, the DNA evidence alone is enough to confirm common descent. We know evolution happens. So now we need to go back and figure out what's the story with abiogenesis. Where did life come from? Because we know that life is here, and we know that it's changed and evolved. So where did it come from? There are a number of scientific theories about how life could have evolved from nothing, and some of them have actually demonstrated in simple terms life from non-life, organic material from inorganic material. The Miller-Urey experiments, for example, demonstrate this pretty well. There are a number of other theories about how it might have arisen on another planet or at the bottom of the sea or on vents, or we don't know. But we do know that it is at least scientifically possible for this to occur. We can trace back the history of the universe, the formation of planets, the formation of galaxies, stars, and how the simpler elements are fused in the furnaces of stars to produce the heavier elements that produce everything in the universe. All of this complexity is explained in terms of simpler things that proceed back to the Big Bang, which isn't a something from nothing proposition. It is a something from something proposition. Now, where did the something come from? Why is it there? That's a question that we cannot answer right now. We may never be able to answer. But to assert...
Isn't it fair to believe, though, that... it's hard to say, but something had to create the Big Bang.
Okay, and what created that something?
That's the thing. Who knows? Nobody knows.
See, and what I'm objecting to is it's the wrong question.
Okay.
It's not a something. Something had to create it. It could have just been that the universe always existed. That matter and energy, in conjunction with the laws of thermodynamics, can't be created or destroyed. That it goes through fluctuations or changes. There may be other explanations with universal tunneling from multi-dimensions. I don't know. It's way beyond that. But my claim is that there's insufficient justification and evidence for a claim that there was any kind of transcendent intelligent force that caused all of this. That is a claim without any evidence. What it is it's an attempt to solve a mystery by applying an even greater mystery. And it has no explanatory power. It doesn't tell us anything. It doesn't make any predictions. It's just a way of us trying to make ourselves more comfortable than saying, I don't know. I'm happy to say I don't know, because saying I don't know means that we can keep looking for the answers. Saying that God did it means we're done.
Yeah, it's a fine question.
If scientifically we find out that there is a transcendent intelligence, that this is required, that there is that there is evidence for this, that's when I'll believe it. The time to believe something is when there's evidence to support the claim, and not a moment before.
Well, I like the way that you present your case. You do it in a respectful manner. And let's just hope that you're wrong. I know that sounds bad to say, but let's hope that you're wrong, and that when we do pass on, that there is something out there. You know?
Okay, yeah.
Pascal's
wager, right?
No. I think he's not. It's not Pascal's wager. He's saying that he hopes that we're wrong in the sense that death isn't the end. That you get to go on to something.
It's wishful thinking. There's no evidence for that viewpoint.
It'd be nice, and if it happens, it happens. There's nothing I can do about it. But here's my quick take. There's no reason at all for me to live my life as if that's going to happen. The best way for me to live my life is if this is the one and only shot I get at life. I need to treat people right the first time. I need to work to better my own life, better the lives of those around me, work towards making sure that if this is something I'm interested in, our species continues to propagate. I realize not everybody's in favor of that. Dolphins might be opposed. But if you live your life as if the end is the end, then I think, for me at least, I get much more enjoyment. I get much more enjoyment. It's much more meaningful, and I know that I am more likely to do things right the first time, or at least make every effort to.
Well, I can respect that, and I like getting someone else's point of view, like yourselves, because then it makes me think a little bit deeper into it, and put everything together, take everybody's point of view. But I appreciate how you present your facts.
Thanks, Justin. I appreciate the call.
I respect your opinion entirely. So y'all have a good afternoon.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks for your call.
I talked a lot. Did you want to add to that?
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine.
All right.
It's the usual thing of, I don't know X, therefore God did it. Right? It's the argument from incredulity.
Yeah, and we tend to kind of simplify it in those terms, and it really is that simple. I mean, there's no you shouldn't believe anything until there's evidence to support it. The problem is that these questions are so big and so baffling to most people, and most people haven't bothered to do a lot of research into evolution, abiogenesis, cosmology, Big Bang cosmology, etc. And that's fine. I mean, not everybody has to be. I'm nowhere near any kind of expert. They put up a link to talkorigins.org. I'd recommend if you have questions, that's a good place to go. These questions are so big.
They're big, and they don't lend themselves to soundbite answers. I mean, the opposing view lends itself to soundbite answer. God did it.
Yeah.
It was God's will, and we don't have a soundbite answer because it's much more complex than that, and there's things that we don't know.
Yeah. And to some people, it just seems probable because all of the experience in their life is, here's something, it's so obviously created, and we know there's a creator. But you're getting putting the cart before the horse. The reason we know it's created is because we have evidence of the creator, the creation process. You can look at a building and as Ray Comfort say, know that there's a builder. Well, yeah, but the reason for that is that buildings aren't naturally occurring. We have no examples of buildings occurring naturally. Plants, they occur naturally. Humans occur naturally. As a matter of fact, the universe occurs naturally.
Yeah, I mean, it's a category mistake.
Yeah, you're transposing what we're talking about.